enlightenment. For all of them, give the Annadan to protect India from this great destruction. I, Parashakti, made this huge ship. Even if the captain is not there, the ship is there. It is the grace and compassion of Devi Parashakti and the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism to make this huge protection for the whole of the world to protect themselves from the ongoing pandemic. Swamiji further revealed that at least 6 months before, I became aware that the multi-layer quarantine is needed to protect the world. If you are in India and if you want to protect your immediate family or the extended family, anyone who will listen to you, get them immediately to our campuses. So now, in the next segment, let us look into what is the current state of affairs in India and also especially in the world because of the ongoing pandemic, and how is the world suffering today. The total number of deaths, it has crossed more than 3 million. The current state in India struggles to track the COVID variants. India's woeful tracking of COVID variants could jeopardize the world's fight against COVID-19. Several experts have warned, even as a variant first found here spreads its claws overseas. With less than 0.1% of all the COVID-positive samples sent for genetic studies, India ranks behind over 100 countries. So this is one of the important issues that the medical infrastructure in India is facing, because they're not able to track the second COVID wave, COVID variants, and therefore people who are tested negative still have the symptoms, and after a few days they struggle for breath and they even lose their lives because they are not being detected COVID on the right time. That's because of the struggle that the medical infrastructure is facing. The RT-PCR methods is not able to detect the COVID variants. Over 37.42 lakh samples for COVID-19 and 20.44 lakh in last 24 hours, says ICMR, the Indian Council of Medical Research. And here we have saying that the high death toll is still a concern in India and the coronavirus cases recede. And we have several articles talking about how the government is now underplaying the stats despite several people being dead without even being detected. And we have here 17,000 plus infections in Tamil Nadu, 16,000 plus infections in Kerala, and 11,000 plus infections in Maharashtra, and 11,000 infections in Karnataka. That's being detected on every single day. In Hyderabad, we have about 3,400 deaths that's been detected on June 11th. And in Bihar, it climbs up to 10,000 a couple of days before. And the next important revelation that's already been revealed by Devi Parashakti on 31st of May 2021, when she's told that the primary contributor to COVID-19 is actually airborne disease. That's what the researchers also confirmed today, that it is airborne transmission that's being the primary contributor to COVID-19 spread. Earlier, it was water droplet transmission. That's the mode of transmission that's been accepted by the researchers all over the world. Now, the researchers come into consensus saying that it could be the airborne transmission, which is the primary contributor to the COVID-19 spread. Now, there's the second very important issue that India is facing today is the secondary infections like the black fungus, white fungus, yellow fungus, etc. These fungal infections are prone to people who are who have recovered COVID infections, and number one. Number two, who have got vaccinated. In both the cases, their immunity levels are lowered to an extent that they are much prone to these kind of secondary infections like black fungus. And the sad state of affairs is that the mortality rate of this black fungus infection is about 70%. And today it grows up to 150% in 3 weeks. deaths. Over 2,100 people are dead. And the most important thing is that the increase in black fungal numbers is driven by the severe shortage of the key drug amphotericin B to treat the affected patients. So the drug shortage is also there, which is also causing to this woofing number of deaths that's been observed for the black fungal infections. And today we have seen news. There are people who are smuggling these drugs across different states. So the situation is not great, mainly because the medical infrastructure is not able to support this huge amount of infants that people are facing, and we are not able to cope up with the basic infrastructure of providing the necessary medicines to people. Black fungus, a new scare in India as the second COVID wave ebbs. As a devastating second wave of COVID ebbs with less than 100,000 new cases reported on Tuesday, India is now battling a new scare, which is black fungus. And on Monday, the health minister has declared about 28,000 cases of fungal infection has been reported. And the highest number of cases are being recorded in Maharashtra, followed by Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Haryana, Karnataka, Delhi, and Andhra Pradesh. Now, let us move to the next segment, where we are going to see how the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has opened the doors of Kailasa to all without exception during this pandemic time to protect people from this ongoing pandemic. So before we move to the next segment, let's have a short break. We'll be right back.
The totality of the knowledge I received from my gurus and practice manifested in my life, perfected by teaching millions of people from all cultures, time zones, backgrounds, genders, nationality, race, from every creed. So this absolutely perfected knowledge available to you, served to you in your home without even you moving out of your couch, free of cost. What I mean by the word e-Kailasa, listen intensely. Enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself, in your own home, wherever you are. If you cannot come to Kailasa, it's okay. Kailasa can come to you. Kailasa coming to you is e-Kailasa. I will revive Hinduism. I am a Hindu revivalist, not by any revolution, but by evolution.
Nityanandam, and welcome back to each and every one. Welcome back to this segment on the Adi Kailasa ship, the only savior for this ongoing global pandemic of COVID 19. When the first world countries closed their borders on everyone during this massive global emergency, Kailasa is the only nation which has opened its doors to all without exception. Kailasa in India has opened free COVID care centers across the whole India, which ranges from Adi Kailash in Bidadi, Bangalore, Salem Adinam in Tamil Nadu, Thiruvannamalai Adinam in Tamil Nadu, Rajapalayam Adinam in Tamil Nadu, Pudavai Adinam in the state of Pondicherry, Pattanam Adinam in Tamil Nadu, Siragapadi Adinam in Tamil Nadu, Sripuram Adinam in Hyderabad, Madurai Adinam in Tamil Nadu, Avathipalayam Adinam in Erode in Tamil Nadu, Hosur Adinam in Tamil Nadu. Close to a dozen free COVID care centers open across India for serving humanity, for providing care and protection to one and all to save one's lives from the COVID pandemic. Kailasa is the only nation that has rushed to aid India as it finds itself on the verge of the COVID 19 third wave. As Devi Parashakti revealed, around September to October of this year, India is going to face a devastating impact of the third wave of COVID 19, literally as the Kirimi Bhojanam or the hell as described in the Hindu scriptures has already landed in India. To face that, we have Kailasa has opened multiple free COVID care centers across India. Various humanitarian services are being offered during this pandemic in all of Kailasa's de facto spiritual embassies across India, and various spiritual services in the form of counseling, spiritual care, healing is being offered during this pandemic in all of the adinams across India so that people are enabled on all levels: physical medical care, mental health care, psychological well-being, in every supreme pontiff of Hinduism, helping humanity to tide past this massive crisis in the form of the corona pandemic. To just mention a few of the free humanitarian services being offered during this pandemic across Kailasas across various de facto spiritual embassies of Kailasa in India. We have medical care in the form of all forms of medicine, all branches, be it allopathy or holistic care like allopathy, like Ayurveda, Siddha, naturopathy, fire safety and equipment maintenance, so that even when we have people coming to the COVID care centers, large numbers of people, we ensure that besides the medical care and the spiritual care that we offer, we also have physical safety in the form of fire safety so that there are no fire hazards. Infrastructure to accommodate thousands of people is being made ready. Accommodation, housing is being made ready in the form of a unique multi-layer quarantine facility as ordained by, as guided directly by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, so that one is not forced out of circumstance to be made to interact with people who could potentially be carriers of corona. Emergency ambulances and literally intensive care unit on wheels have been made ready. Various emergency equipments, protective medical equipments, protective medical care is being ready. Personal protective medical equipments, as well as groceries being preserved, collected, so that Annadan can be offered, free food offering to one and all. And the food being served is, needless to say, as per the Bhaga Shastra, sattvic, healthy, organic food, which is made right from the farms in Adi Kailash, where organic farming in various ways is being done, including vertical gardening. So, if you want to avail of this unique, important, mandatory, practically facility being opened, offered by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Kailasa, you can register right now in the link https://kailasa.org/kailasacare. Please note KAILASA.org/KAILASACARE. So just take a few
Before
seconds so
we
that you can register yourself at this ID. And here we will just get into just a glimpse of what exactly is happening in the sacred space of Adi Kailasa Sarvajna Pitha. We have here just captured a few glimpses, which has also been posted across various social media. One can see here Kailasa's Ministry of Infrastructure in Adi Kailasa working tirelessly, where the sannyasis, volunteers, disciples of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism are working to provide and make ready the housekeeping facilities available for one and all coming to Adi Kailasa Sarvajna Pitham, where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has opened the campus to provide a safe haven from the COVID-19 pandemic to all those seeking protection during these perilous times. One can see here the Department of Housing in action, responsible for building multi-layered quarantine living spaces, planning, construction, community development, protection of the environment, and other environmental conservation efforts. As one knows, Sanatana Hindu Dharma has evolved as a scientific analytical civilization, and over thousands of years with unbiased intelligence, have perfected the building of village and town structures for actually preventing pandemics. That system, which is the most powerful and intelligent way of housing, with the right social structure, is being revived under the guidance of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagat Guru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagwan Nityananda Paramashivam. Just about yesterday, what was happening here, as one can see in the picture, we have the whole housing facilities being readied in every which way, where the disciples and the sannyasis in a very blissful way are working together to make ready accommodation and housing for the thousands who are going to arrive and the hundreds who are already pouring into the Adi Kailasa Sarvajna Pitham.
So you can see here more glimpses from the Department of Housing, where you can see all the Kailayavasis and the residents and even the volunteers, whoever have come here as a refuge to protect themselves from COVID. They are inspired by this lifestyle. They want to contribute. So they also participate in full swing to facilitate the requirements that is needed to accommodate hundreds and hundreds of people coming in for the protection from the COVID pandemic. And here you have more glimpses about the morning spiritual routine that all the participants here do today, which makes it up to first 5 hours of anyone's day, which is the most important, fundamental, and vital practice of a seeker, anyone who is in the path to achieve the enlightenment, the Paramashivatva, and to achieve the ultimate superconscious space of Paramashivoham. So it is not just the medical infrastructure, food, accommodation, and internet facilities. Their spiritual needs, every being's spiritual needs, is completely taken care by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism in these COVID care protection centers. So all the participants really enjoy this 5 hours of morning routine, spiritual routine, where they perform yoga and puja and then watch Swamiji satsang. You can see the participants doing the puja. And more glimpses from the Department of Housing, where they also involve themselves in organic farming and gardening. And these are some of the updates from the Kailasa's Department of Health and Human Services, which makes the traditional kashayams, the ancient medicines, to protect the residents from the COVID and pandemic infections. So here the residents are being administered the steam inhalation of various herbs such as tulsi, eucalyptus, and turmeric leaves, all of which are organically grown within the Adi Kailasha campus. It is the mission of Kailasa's Department of Human Services to create and enable people navigate through COVID-19 crisis to move forward with their life and rediscover their possibilities and self-sufficiency. Kailasa's Department of Human Services is providing all the essential needs such as housing, electricity, internet communications, security, heating and cooling, common area maintenance, counseling, overall immunity building, pollution-free atmosphere, medical care, enlightened lifestyle, and living for every citizen, training people to enhance their well-being and superconsciousness. Here you can see the Kailasa's Department of Health in collaboration with Kailasa's Department of Agriculture in Adi Kailasa continue to grow organically and make the traditional kashayams, as we mentioned in the previous slide. The Department of Agriculture is the governing body for all the agriculture efforts and food-related activities to ensure all the Adi Kailaya Vasis and the people who have come here for COVID Care Protection Center are fed nutritiously. The food that is being provided is toxin-free and that is filled with Vedagamic compliance ingredients. And it also runs and maintains the organic farms of Adi Kailasa. The department has been researching and implementing environmental-friendly, sustainable, economic-friendly methods of agriculture, including vertical farming, chemical and pesticide-free agriculture, usage of natural non-GMO seeds, agriculture harmonious with other forms of life, that is the animal forms in Goshala, or the non-violent farming, not harming the other forms of life. That is why you see in Adi Kailasa, the living beings of all various species, everybody has some space. They beautifully grow, coexist together. That is because of all the practices that is being guided directly by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Everything is conflict-free, sustainable practices. So, and here we have some updates from the Department of Maintenance, who completed the final cleaning checklist of the new accommodation facility. The team verified that the bedrooms are clean, tidy, and they are pest-free. There is sufficient electrical wall outlet for the number of residents in each room to prevent overloading. The cots are placed at sufficient distance. So these are all some of the updates from the maintenance department of Kailasa's Department of Maintenance, who's working on getting the place and the facility ready. The Department of Housing also conducted the resource assessment, which included the inspection of all the houses to ensure that they are clean and comfortable. The department also ensured the eco-friendly coir mattresses are provided to the guests. So the Department of Maintenance of Infrastructure verified that the bedrooms are clean, tidy, and pest-free, and there's sufficient electrical wall outlet, as mentioned previously. More updates from the Department of Maintenance. A family of devotees from Bangalore have grown organically mango orchids as per the injunctions laid out in the Vedas and in Agamas as revealed by Paramashiva. Being true to the powerful cognition in the Taittiriya Upanishad, Annam Bahukura Vita, that means grow food in abundance and share with the world. The family of devotees have donated around 700 mangoes to Adi Kailasa's protective, preventive, multi-layered quarantine facility. You can see because all these efforts is all inclusive and benefiting the society. Everybody is coming together. Everybody is coming together to ensure that the needs are met and how we can make this place more and more blissful. So the Kailasa's Department of Agriculture in Adi Kailasa, upon receiving the generous donation, made the first offering as the Naivedya to Nityanandeshwara Paramashiva. In Hinduism, the first and foremost offering of anything is manifested in one's life is made to the divine, is made to Paramashiva. So this offering is made to Paramashiva himself, and then it's distributed to all the participants who have come here for protecting themselves from ongoing pandemic. Now, in this series, we have a wonderful video where Swamiji, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Swamiji, has personally prepared the Navapashana concoction using the 1008 herbs. It is a scene to be seen because you can clearly see how Swamiji has micromanaged, how he has guided the whole preparation. So what we see today as the 21 feet Navapashana Lingam, Nityananda Ananda Lingam in Adi Kailasa is personally prepared. This whole concoction is being personally prepared and guided by Swamiji. So we're going to watch this video today. It's going to be really interesting for all the viewers. So stay tuned and we'll play the video now. And we'll get back to the session after we watch the video.
யோக நவபாஷாணத்திலே பண்ணி வச்சிட்டாரு. அந்த நவபாஷாணத்தோட 1008 மூலிகைகளையும் சேர்த்து பண்றோம். உள்ள அடுக்கா, உள்ள அடுக்கு, மேல அடுக்கு. என்ன ஹீட்டு பத்தியா? அந்த நெருப்பு போய் அவளை ஹீட் இருக்காரு. இந்த நெருப்பு பயங்கர ஹீட்டா இருக்கணும். காரணம் எரிஞ்சது எரியுது. சாம்பலாக்கணும். அதான் புடம் போடுறதுக்கு. அப்படியே இலையை போட்டு போட்டு இன்னும் எவ்வளோ இது இருக்கு சாம்பார்? நான் உருண்டை பிடிச்சா பாதி ஆயிடுச்சுல. மொத்தமா எரிச்சு வரும்போது பாத்தீங்கன்னா சும்மா ஒரு இவ்வளவுதான் இருக்கும். புடம் போட்டு பாத்தீங்கன்னா இவ்வளவுதான் இருக்கும். சும்மா ஒரு படிதான் இருக்கும். பருப்பு எத்தனை அதுல முக்கா சாம்பல் இருந்ததுல அதை புடம் புடிச்சிட்டீங்க. இவ்வளவுதான் இருப்பாரு. எல்லா உருண்டையும் அடிக்கிறீங்களா? நாளைக்கு தட்டில் மாற்றி மாற்றி எடுத்து பூத்து வருது பாத்தியா? அந்த சாம்பல் இருக்கு பாரு, அந்த மாதிரி மொத்தமாயிடும். அதுக்கப்புறம் திரும்ப அதை நெய் ஊற்றி இப்ப ஜலிச்சு திரும்ப அதை நெய் ஊற்றி உருண்டை பிடிச்சி எரிக்கணும். சும்மாவே கல்விக்க போறாங்க. பண்ணுங்க என்ன நலபாஷம் எடுத்து வந்தீங்கன்னு வீடியோவை பிடிச்சி வச்சுடா, பிடிச்சி வச்சு காமி ஜனங்களுக்கு. நம்ம அலுமினி பாத்திரத்தை பிடிக்காங்க. முடிச்சுட்டு செப்பு பிராஷ் ஏதாவது பாத்திரம் வச்சு அதில் பிடிங்க. அங்கே சாப்பிட்டு ஜாஸ்தியா அடுத்து பிடிக்கிறதுனா போயிடும். அப்பதான் நல்லா வேவும். புடம் போட போட சாஃப்ட் பார்ட்டிகிள்ஸ் மாதிரி இருந்தா அப்ப என்ன ஆகும்? குழைச்சோம்னா அப்படியே கப்புன்னு சில பிடிச்சிடும். புரியுதா? பண்ணிட முடியும். மெடிசனல் குவாலிட்டியும் ஜாஸ்தி ஆயிடும். கியூர் ஆக ஆக இதுல சேர்க்கிற மெடிசன் வந்து குணம் கெடாம இருக்கும். சாலிட் பார்ட்டிகிள்ஸ் இருக்கிறது இதுல சேர்க்கிற மெடிசனோட குவாலிட்டி குறைஞ்சிரும். மெடிசன் பேஸ் தானே இது. போடாத, உடைச்சிடாத. தெரியாத பக்கம் சுத்துறோம் இதை. என்ன ஓ நீங்க தெரியும் லட்டாடி பிடிச்சிங்க.
Welcome back.
Yes, I hope all the viewers had a wonderful. Yeah, please go ahead, Ma.
I was just going to say that before we jump into the next segment, that was a historical moment when, or rather moments, a series of moments when, as all of us saw, it seemed to be such a casual happening. You can see just a so very informal, friendly, casual atmosphere, ambience in Adikailasa Sarvanya Peetham, where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism just sitting very casually around the Homakunda and guiding the sannyasis as to how to make that Navapashana mix. And as you would have observed, it is unlike the only existing Navapashana structure that we know of, which is the Murti of Muruga made by Bogar in what exists today as the Palani temple. Other than that, there exists no such structure which is still alive, made of the Navapashana. And as Bhagwan said, the Navapashana mix which he made during this process, which we just saw way back in 2008, was not just the 9 components which go into the Navapashana traditionally, but also it is mixed with 1008 Ayurvedic herbs, making what he referred to as the Sudhamurti. That is what is the constitution of this unique, marvelous 21 feet Anandalinga, which is standing today in the Vaidya Sarovar in Adikailasa Sarvanyapitham, and which, as Devi Parashakti revealed, is the ship, literally the Adikailasa ship, which is going to take everyone to safety. Whoever comes and takes the tirtham from this Vaidya Sarovar, from the sacred waters, or has a bath in the waters of the Vaidya Sarovar, will simply be protected and death cannot touch them. So this, what went into this magical constitution, we just saw a glimpse of that in that short video clip that we all just witnessed in the form of this, the making of this Anandalinga in the Adikailasa Sarvagnapitam years back, as Devi said, way back in 2008, when the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism had already anticipated what is coming, and he wanted to make this ship ready. And ironically, as Devi also said, even though the captain of the ship was driven away by the anti-Hindu terrorist militants, yet out of his immense grace and compassion, he still made the ship ready so that all of humanity can benefit out of it.
Next is the Adi Kailasa's COVID care protection centers offering shelters for all the living beings. Just before we get into that segment, let's quickly catch up on the contributions of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism through various international affiliations that he has created using Saffron Om, which is working for the world peace, conflict resolution, and religious freedom. Red Om, which works for providing relief work for natural and man-made calamities, working to eliminate the world hunger. Blue Om, which is working for animal rights and prevention of cruelty towards animals. Then is the White Om, providing psychological healing, spiritual counseling, and a superconscious breakthrough. Then we have Yellow Om, which is providing Satvidya, yogic Ayurvedic solutions and medical care, including access to libraries and knowledge. Next, we have Green Om, working for the protection of the environment. So these international agencies that are established by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism works with several institutions to and people all around the world to enable these services for the humanity.
The importance of what is required today, which is harmonious coexistence of one and all, not only living beings, but all that exists. As the Upanishads declare, there is nothing called non-living. It is everything exists that exists is energy. Isha Vasyam Idagum Sarvam is what the Isa Vasya Upanishad declares primarily. And that is what world leaders are realizing, recognizing today. Unfortunately, in a very, probably a little bit too late. As you can see over here, before meeting the leaders of the world's major economic powers at the G7 summit in the UK, Antonio Guterres said he was concerned that the richest nations have pumped billions of dollars more into fossil fuels than clean energy since the pandemic, despite their promises of a green recovery. Yes, environment friendliness, it may sound a term which is only discussed in some few summits, international summits, in a one-odd way, but that is not what can be sustained. It is something that really needs to be corrected, because the pandemic is not just happening, which is a disease outbreak. It is an outcome of a combination of factors, including how Devi Parashakti said that about abuse that human beings have done on various levels to environment, to planet Earth, to Bhu Devi, and that is what we are all suffering today. the extreme arrogance of human beings of treating this Mother Earth as a utility item.
And we have here the sperm whale washes ashore, dies on the shell island, necropsy planned. It's been many years since we've dealt with large whale. These standings can be caused by anything. It could be contaminants, weather conditions, and natural toxins. We haven't seen any signs of human interaction. So you can see how the impact of environmental pollution on the living beings and how the planet Earth is losing species after species because of human interventions. So now we have the global services under the Kailasa's Department of State from the Saffron Om, working for world peace, conflict resolution, and religious freedom. Here we have a red Om, where you can see the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself is spearheading and he's guiding and doing the relief work for natural and man-made calamities, working to eliminate the world hunger. So this particular picture is from the Thane flood relief in Pondicherry region in 2012, where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, along with all the peacekeepers of Kailasa, involving in the relief efforts, free organic food distribution. We have here the blue Om working for animal rights and prevention of cruelty towards animals. In Hinduism, cows are worshipped and endeared as Gaumata, who embodies about 330 million deities and is a form of cosmic mother herself. So the picture beautifully depicts the Gaumata and her calf spending time with the Balasants, the child saints of Nityananda Gurukul in Adi Kailasa. Next, we have here the white Om providing the psychological healing, spiritual counseling, and a superconscious breakthrough. The picture that you're seeing is the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, where he's organized a meditation program for the engineering college students in 2008 as part of Kailasa's White Om services. Next, we have Yellow Om providing Satvidya, which is yogic Ayurvedic solutions and medical care, including access to libraries and knowledges. So on the first picture is from Kailasa's many of the medical camps set up during the relief efforts for Thane flood in 2012 in India. And you also find the free yoga classes held around the world organized by the Yellow Om international agencies for all the people of all ages. Next, you have the green Om working for the protection of the environment. You can see organic fruits, vegetables, and grains cultivated by the peacekeepers of Kailasa, led by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. The produce is offered as Annadan, which is the charitable service of providing free organic meals to everyone through various embassies and centers of Kailasa. You can also see the glimpses from the Kailasa's Department of Environment and Animals. You can see how blissfully the Kailavasis are interacting with the living beings in Kailasa. These cow sheds, the goshalas, provide such safe and protective space for all the living beings in Adi Kailash, and where they are treated as gods themselves. Now, the sad state of affairs, what the world is now going through, is the COVID-19 is spreading from humans to animals. The novel coronavirus has hit the human race hard for over 5 months now. It's not just the 5 months, more than a year now, but we are not the only species that is suffering. The effects of COVID-19 on animals came to forefront when cats, dogs, and even tigers were tested positive for COVID-19. Several 19 or gorilla. So the distribution has tested positive for this COVID-19. And on this, the Kailasa's COVID care centers opening the doors of Kailasa for not just for people, where Swamiji has opened it for all the living beings. You can see how beautifully and blissfully the living beings of Kailasa are all happily enjoying in the COVID care protection centers in Adi Kailash. So if you want to be part of this greatest happening where you feel you can you are Adi Kailash, you can join the COVID care centers of Adi Kailash. So next we have participants from the COVID care protection centers from Adi Kailash who are joining the show today to share their experiences of how how did they make it happen to Adi Kailash and what are their experiences here. Short break, we'll be right back.
Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda 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 Paramashivoham.
Nityanandam? Welcome back, everyone. And we have with us
Yes.
a beautiful family ready for our sharing.
Yes, Nityanandamaya, we have Srinitya Krishnagadhananda Ayya and Parvati Ma from Tamil Nadu who have joined us today in our show, who's going to share their experiences of being in Adi Kailasa. Nityanandama. எஸ், வணக்கங்கய்யா. உங்களுடைய ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வந்துட்டு நம்மளுடைய தமிழ்நாட்டுல இப்ப இருக்க முதல்ல இருக்கிற நிலைமை எப்படி போயிட்டு இருக்கு? கோவிடோடைய நிலைமையை பத்தி என்ன சொல்ல விரும்புறீங்க?
அதுதான் இப்ப நான் வந்து ஆதிக்காயம் வந்து 20 நாள் ஆச்சு. தமிழ்நாட்டுல இப்ப வந்து அதான் ரொம்ப, அதாவது புயல் மாதிரி, இப்ப சுனாமி மாதிரி அந்த கொரோனா அரக்கன் வந்து எல்லாம் கொரோனா அரக்கன் வந்து அப்படியே புயல் மாதிரி எல்லாத்தையும் ஒரே சமயத்துல அட்டாக் ஆச்சு. ஒரே சமயத்துல அட்டாக் ஆகும். எல்லா இடத்துலயும் பார்த்தாலுமே ஃபீவரு, அந்த சிம்டம்ஸ் எல்லா இடத்துலயுமே அந்த இதை பார்க்க முடிஞ்சிச்சு. என்னோட ஃபேமிலி மெம்பர்ஸ், என்னோட க்ளோஸ் ரிலேஷன்ஸ், என்னோட சிஸ்டர்ஸ் எல்லாமே இதுல பாதிக்கப்பட்டாங்க. என்னோட அம்மா கூட இதுல பாதிக்கப்பட்டாங்க மறைமுகமா. அதாவது வந்து அவங்க 85 வயசு. அவங்களுக்கு வந்து ஹாஸ்பிட்டலைசேஷன்ஸ் கடைசியா அந்த ஒரு 5 days பண்ண முடியல. என்னால பெட்டே கிடைக்கல. அந்த அளவுக்கு அவங்க இயற்கையா கோவிட் இல்லைனாலும் அந்த ஹாஸ்பிட்டலைசேஷன் அவங்களுக்கு கொடுக்க முடியாது. எனக்கு ஒரு பெரிய வருத்தமா தான் இருந்துச்சு. ரொம்பவும் எங்க பார்த்தாலுமே உயிர்கள் வந்து சர்வசாதாரணமாக இறந்துட்டு இருந்தாங்க. ஒரு பெரிய ஷாக்கா இருந்துச்சு எனக்கு. அந்த ஷாக்கா இருக்கும். அப்புறம் பகவான்கிட்ட வந்து கேட்டோம் நாங்க, சாமிஜி வந்து எங்களை இதுல இருந்து காப்பாத்துங்க அப்படின்னு சொன்னேன். பகவானுமே எல்லாத்துக்குமே, பக்தர்களுக்குமே எல்லாத்துக்குமே வந்து அடைக்கலம் கொடுத்தாரு. அவரோட ஆதீனத்துல வந்து எல்லாருமே வாங்க, நான் உங்களுக்கு என்னென்ன தேவையானது மெடிக்கல் கேர்ல இருந்து உணவு இருக்கிறதுக்கு எல்லா வசதி வாய்ப்பும் நான் ஏற்படுத்தி தரேன் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி பகவான் வந்து தமிழ்நாடு மக்களுக்கும் சரி, பக்தர்களுக்கும் சரி, பொதுமக்கள் எல்லா மதத்தினராக இருந்தாலும் வாங்கன்னு சொல்லி அழைப்பு விடுச்சிருக்காரு. இது பெரிய யாருமே செய்யாத ஒரு கவர்மெண்ட் கூட இந்த சமயத்துல செய்ய முடியாது அவங்களால. அதாவது தடுப்பூசி, இப்ப கொரோனாக்கு வந்து தடுப்பூசி கூட சரியா போட முடியல அவங்களால. இது பிரிவென்ட், அது முன்னாடியே வந்து வருமுன் காக்கும். நோய் வர்றதுக்கு முன்னாடியே வந்து எப்படி காக்கணும்னு அவங்க எந்த ஸ்டெப்புமே அவங்க எடுக்கல கவர்மெண்ட். இது வந்து பகவான் இது வந்து செய்யறது பெரிய விஷயம். இது
Yes. So what Ayya is sharing is he saw how people are suffering in Tamil Nadu without even having the hospital beds, and especially his own mother. He has seen how she was affected during this condition. Though she was not COVID patient, but she was struggling to get bed in the hospital, and he had actually lost his mother, and the government is not really preparing the people to fight to prevent themselves getting affected from corona. At this stage, Swamiji opening his doors is such a blessing for them, and they got blessings from Swamiji to come here to Adi Kailasa, and the Swamiji opened these blessings for for not just for their family but for the entire humanity, for them to come here and be protected from corona. ஐயா, இன்னொரு சின்ன இது, நீங்க எப்படி இங்க வந்தீங்க? லைக் வரணும்ன்றது முடிவு பண்ணிட்டீங்க. எப்படி, எந்த சிச்சுவேஷன்ஸ்ல நீங்க கிளம்பி இங்க வந்தீங்க? எப்படி இருக்கு உங்களுடைய அனுபவங்கள்?
வந்ததே பெரிய விஷயம். ஏன்னா வந்து தமிழ்நாடு லாக்டவுன் போட்டிருந்தாங்க. அப்ப பகவான்கிட்ட வந்து நாங்க கேட்டிருந்தோம், சாமிஜி எங்களுக்கு அந்த தடையை உடைச்சு கொடுங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு. சாமிஜி அதெல்லாம் உடனே எல்லாமே கிளியர் ஆயிடும் அப்படின்னாரு பகவான். பிளெஸிங் கொடுத்தாரு. பிளெஸிங் அதாவது நீதான் ஸ்டெப் எடுக்கணும், நான் உன்னை ஒண்ணு கட்டிலாம் எடுத்துட்டு வர முடியாது, திறந்துதான் வைக்க முடியும், நம்ம தான் முயற்சி பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு சொன்னார் பகவான். அவர் சொல்லிட்டு சரி, எனக்கு அதுதான் தடையா இருந்துச்சு. உடனே பார்த்தா ஒரு 2 hours வந்து தமிழ்நாடு கவர்மெண்ட் வந்து ஃப்ரீ 2 days ஃப்ரீ சொல்றாங்க, லாக்டவுன் ஃப்ரீ சொல்றாங்க. அப்ப உடனே எனக்குள்ள எல்லா வேலையும் டக்குன்னு நெகட்டிவ் சர்டிபிகேட் வாங்கிட்டு உடனே அப்ப சாமி சொன்ன 3 hours அப்புறமே ஃப்ரீ சொல்றாங்க. ஃப்ரீ சொன்னோடனே நாங்க எல்லா ஸ்டெப்புமே எடுத்துட்டோம். குருவாக்கு சாமி உயிர் பத்தி நான் கவலைப்படல, ஆனா சாமி சொல்றாங்க நம்ம போயிடணும், அது என்ன நடக்க போகுதுன்னு ஃபியூச்சர் நமக்கு தெரியாது, பகவானுக்கு தான் தெரியும், பகவான் சொல்றா நம்ம செய்யணும், அவ்வளவுதான். இப்ப பகவான் வந்து இங்க இருந்தாலும் கைலாயத்துல தான் இருக்க போறோம், நம்ம போனாலும் கைலாயத்துல தான் இருக்க போறோம், அது எனக்கு தெளிவா தெரியும். ஆனா சாமிஜி சொல்றாங்க நம்ம உடனே செய்யணும். அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு உடனே அதுக்கு உண்டான ஸ்டெப் நான் அந்த 2 hours எடுத்துட்டு உடனே வண்டியை எடுத்துட்டு கிளம்பிட்டோம். அதே மாதிரி பாத்தீங்கன்னா எல்லாமே ஃப்ரீயா இருந்துச்சு. கர்நாடகால மட்டும் கொஞ்சம் இது பண்ணாங்க, 1 hour வெயிட் பண்ண வச்சாங்க, அப்புறம் திருப்பி விட்டுட்டாங்க. அவங்களுமே ஃப்ரீயா அங்க ஜேர்னி, அதாவது எல்லாம் நம்மளோட முயற்சி இருந்தா எல்லாமே கிளியர் ஆகுற மாதிரி எல்லாமே கிளியர் பண்ணாரு பகவான் வந்து. அது பெரிய ஒரு விஷயமா இருந்துச்சு.
Amazing. So what Krishnagada Ayya is sharing with us is he received blessings from Swamiji, and he had initially some obstacles, like despite lockdown, how he is going to move from one state to another state with the family, etc. But as Swamiji blessed, he immediately thought, if Swamiji has told, there is something that I need to really do it. So whether I'm here or there, I'm going to be with Swamiji in Kailasa, but I need to fulfill what Swamiji has given me as Guruva. So he immediately hours, the government had all the steps necessary to take the COVID negative test Adi Kailash within no time. So that's wonderful, Ayya. And
Nityanandam, sorry for the technical glitch. Nityanandam Ayya, Nityanandamma. And as Ayya was sharing so beautifully, one very important teaching that Ayya reminded us of was, when Bhagavan ordains, he sustains. So I remember clearly the Akashic reading that was given to Ayya. It was not like in the so-called polite sense. Devi Parashakti just very ferociously told him, there is nothing to remove any obstacle or anything. You just save your life and come to Adi Kailasa. It was a very straight, almost like a warning. And as Ayya beautifully said, we will always remain with Paramashiva in Kailasa. We are all his children. But the ultimate reality is, Guru is the ultimate reality. Guru Vak is life. And as Ayya so beautifully shared, following the Guru Vak, literally the cosmos opened up. The lockdown freeze was lifted, and Ayya was able to make it here with in such an effortless way. And after coming here, I'm sure Ayya had a very beautiful experience. We would like Ayya, inge vandapram உங்களோட அனுபவம், இங்க ஆதி கைலாசத்துல இருக்கிறது, உங்களுக்கு கிடைச்சது அக்கமடேஷன் ஃபெசிலிட்டிஸ், உங்களுக்கு எப்படி தோணுது? இந்த ஹோல் என்லைட்டன்மெண்ட் ஈகோ சிஸ்டம், பகவான் எப்படி இந்த கோவிட் கேர் ப்ரொடெக்ஷன் சென்டர் உருவாக்கி இருக்கா, உங்களுக்கு அந்த ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஹேண்ட் அனுபவம் கிடைச்சிருக்கு, அது கொஞ்சம் ஷேர் பண்ணா நல்லா இருக்கும் ஐயா.
சரிங்க. அதாவது எங்களுக்கு வந்து இப்ப கிரகஸ்தாஸ் தனியா ரூம்ஸ் எல்லாம் கொடுத்து நல்ல ஃபெசிலிட்டி, அதே மாதிரி தனியா வந்தவங்களுமே ஜென்ட்ஸ் லேடிஸ் அவங்களுக்கு நல்ல ஃபெசிலிட்டி, டாம், நல்ல ஆசிரம், நல்ல 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 ஃபெசிலிட்டி, எல்லா வசதியும் நல்லா எல்லாம் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. அதாவது ஸ்பிரிச்சுவல் பிராக்டிஸும் கொடுக்குறாங்க. காலையில வந்து யோகா, பிரம்ம முகூர்த்தத்துல 3 மணிக்கு எந்திரிக்கிறோம், யோகா எந்திரிச்சு யோகா பண்றோம். 4 மணிக்கு 6 மணிக்கு பூஜை பண்றோம். அது ரொம்ப அது அந்த வாதாவரணம் வந்து ரொம்ப இனிமையா இருக்கு. வீட்டுல இருந்தாலும் அந்த மாதிரி பண்ண முடியாது நிச்சயமாவே. வீட்டுல இருந்தா கொஞ்சம் சோம்பல் தன்மை வரும். இது நல்லா பிராக்டிஸ் ஆகுது இந்த மாதிரி டைம்ல. அதாவது பயமே இல்லாம, இப்ப இங்க நாங்க இருக்கிறோம் ஒரு 10 ஃபேமிலியா தனித்தனியா பிரிச்சு அந்த பிரிவென்ஷன் பண்ணிருக்காங்க. அந்த 10 ஃபேமிலியுமே நல்லா வீட்டுல இருக்கிற மாதிரி எந்த மாஸ்க்குமே இல்லாம ரொம்ப ஜாலியா எல்லாரு கூடயும் பழகுறோம். நல்லா இதா இருக்கு. அப்புறம் வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா சாமி நல்ல ஃப்ரீ டைம்ல இதிகாசங்கள், இப்ப வந்து எந்த வித கண்டிஷனும் இங்க கிடையாது. அதாவது அங்க ஐடில ஒர்க் பண்றவங்க அவங்களோட ஒர்க்கை இங்க இருந்தே பார்க்கலாம். அவங்க ஃபுல் டைம் அவங்க வந்து பாத்துக்கலாம். அதே மாதிரி இப்ப எங்களுக்கு ஃப்ரீயா இருந்துச்சுன்னா நாங்க மகாபாரதம், இதிகாசங்கள், நாங்களே லேப்டாப்ல இதிகாசம், மகாபாரதம், ராமாயணம் இது ஃபுல்லா அங்க கூட உட்காந்து டைம் ஒதுக்கி நம்ம பார்க்க முடியாது வேலையில. இங்க உட்காந்து நல்லா அதை கான்சன்ட்ரேட் பண்ணி அந்த சத்தியங்களை நம்ம உள்வாங்க முடியுது. அப்புறம் பகவத்கீதா சாண்டிங், அதாவது நிறைய ஸ்பிரிச்சுவல் பிராக்டிஸ் பண்ணாங்க. எல்லாம் ஐஏ கிளாஸ் ஃப்ரீயா எடுக்கிறாங்க. அதாவது நிறைய விஷயங்கள் எங்களுக்கு வந்து சாமிஜி பகவான் வந்து ஆசிரமடிஸ் மூலமா தராரு. ரொம்ப இனிமையாவும் ஜாலியாவும் இருக்கு. அதாவது இப்ப வெளியே இருக்கும்போது ஒரே ஃபியர், ரொம்ப கஷ்டமான சூழல், நமக்கு ஒரு ஃபீவர் வருதா சளி வருதா அப்படின்னு நம்மள எனி டைமும் நம்ம பார்த்துட்டு இருக்கிறது. இங்க வந்துட்டு அந்த ஃபியரே இல்லாம, அதாவது ஒரு என்ன சொல்றது, ஒரு இனிமையான சூழலை ஏற்படுத்தி இந்த கஷ்டமான காலத்தையும் ஒரு இனிமையான சூழலா பகவான் ஏற்படுத்தி எங்களுக்கு கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. அது பெரிய விஷயமா எங்களுக்கு கருதுறவங்க சாமி. பகவானுக்கு வந்து என்ன புண்ணியம் நாங்க எந்த ஜென்மத்துல பண்ணியிருக்கோம்னு தெரியல. ஆனா இதெல்லாம் வந்து அதாவது பகவானை வந்து சொத்தை அனுபவிக்கிறதே ஒரு குடும்பம் இருக்கணும் போல. அதாவது அவரோட சாப்பாடு சாப்பிடுறது 11 வகையான சாப்பாடு 3 வேளையுமே கரெக்டான டைமுக்கு கரெக்டா கேர் எடுத்து ஆசிரமடிஸ் வந்து ரொம்ப நல்லா கவனிச்சுக்கிறாங்க எங்களை. அதாவது அதையுமே ரொம்ப ஒரு 2 ஹவர்ஸ் முன்னாடியே வர வச்சு அதை ஸ்டெரிலைசர் பண்ணி எங்களுக்கு அதை கிடைக்க வைக்கிறாங்க. ரொம்ப பாதுகாப்பா 3 டைம்ஸ் குவாரண்டைன் லெவல்ல ரொம்ப பாதுகாப்பா வெளி மக்களே எங்களுக்கு தொடர்பு இல்லாம ரொம்ப நல்லா கவனிச்சுக்கிறாங்க சாமி.
Beautiful, Ayya. So what Ayya was sharing was a plethora of things over here, right from the fact that the multi-layer quarantine facility in the Adi Kailasa Sarvajna Peetham, where families are accommodated as well as singles in the form of separate accommodation for male bodies, female bodies, and the spiritual routine and the spiritual lifestyle being so effortlessly lived over here. As Ayya said, if we were back home, then getting up at 3 a.m. in the morning and doing our yoga and puja would never happen because we'll just be downright lazy. But here, because of the enlightenment spiritual ecosystem, everybody is able to get up at 3 o'clock, do the various cleansing processes, do the yoga, do the puja, and the whole lifestyle is so spiritually centered, as Ayya was sharing, right from the classes of Bhagavad Gita chanting to learning the truths of our Puranas, like Mahabharata, which otherwise we would not have taken the time to watch and internalize. And other than that, the way in which the people who have come here to the COVID Care Protection Center are being taken care of, right from the nutritious meals, which comprise of 11 items each and given time to time. And Ayya was sharing his gratitude to the Kailaya-vasis who take care to provide these meals on time for one and all, and how the whole atmosphere literally, as Ayya succinctly put it in one line, that it really is like probably just luck that how one, only by Swamiji's grace, literally by Bhagwan's grace only, one can experience this lifestyle. It is not anyone's doing. We can never lay claim to, I have done so much of punya and be able to experience Kailasa space. And literally the compassion of Swamiji, that everyone who's over here, who followed his Guru Vak and is coming to Adi Kailasa Sarvanya Peetham to save one's life, because that is what Devi Parashakti and the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism have ordained for us, have ordered us till the end of this year. The only priority that we have is to remain alive. So that was a brief sharing. I'm sure Aya has lots more to say, and we also have a lot more to ask you, Aya and Amma. But in the interest of time today, we will end this Adi Kailasa segment, and we thank you once again for sharing your experiences. And it's a great inspiration, I'm sure, for all the viewers who are watching and who also have heard Devi Parashakti give us the orders, save your life, come to Adi Kailasa. So thank you. Thank you,
Thank you.
Thank you,
viewers.
Swami.
Thank you, Swami.
Nandi.
Nityanandam.
Nityananda.
परमशिवोऽहम् ॐ नित्यानन्द परमशिवोऽहम् ॐ नित्यानन्द परमशिवोऽहम् नित्यानन्द परमशिवोऽहम् ॐ नित्यानन्द परमशिवोऽहम्
Let's start with the Sadguru Vandanam. Nityanandam Paramasukhanam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gaganasadushnam Tattamasyadi Lakshyam Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Let's go through the disclaimers. Security measures. No photography, video, audio recording. Important cautions. Please be aware of the important cautions.